we come from humble beginnings. My parents first, after the war, went to Paris. My father had a job as a chauffeur working for a noble family. And my mother was one of the first Jewish families to be smuggled out of Hungary when the Germans were rounding them up. Because my family, my grandfather and the rest of his family, who were all Catholics, were hiding her family from the Germans, even though the Germans took over their factories and houses and everything else, trucks, to be able to distribute parts, military parts, to wherever they were going. And my dad had the hots for a Jew, which eventually became my mother. And this is after they arrived in Canada. I think this is, no, you know what? That's not Canada. That is Canada, sorry. But it is an apartment on Eglinton Avenue near Spadina. I can even point to the building. I don't even know why I know that. I can't even explain it because I was just a baby. I was, I don't know, not even a year old or something. My mother tells me, yet I remember things about that apartment. It's kind of weird. Okay, anyway, this was later in life. I think I was around 29 or 30 here. And that's my mother beside me. These are machines that my dad worked on. This is 421 Rosemont Avenue in Toronto. My father designed these chairs. That's my father there. Now died in 2018, December of 2018, at 97 years old. My stereo, my bronze stereo. My dad bought this stereo in Germany when I was a kid. I was maybe 7 or 8 years old at the time. This stereo was amazing. It really was. Lots of Persian carpets. I have memories of the carpets. I gave all the carpets away to a friend of mine because I have no room for them anymore here in Europe. Japanese cabinet, beautiful Japanese cabinet. I'll have to incorporate into my new apartment somewhere in Hungary. That was our garden on Rosemont Avenue. Beautiful place. This was our dining room, and our kitchen was behind here. Me at 5 years old. That's when we lived in this house, which is 115 Waterloo Avenue. Again, I don't understand why I remember all this stuff, truly, because but that was in the apartment on Eglinton. That's my mother again. She was painting interesting things. She was very talented. Smart woman. I think that was our first car, but I vaguely remember it. It is possible that I wasn't born yet. This is maybe before I was born. Could be, I don't know. But it can't be that. This is also the apartment. Apartments all have the same kind of floors. It's really hilarious. You can tell it's an apartment because of the floor. And that was my dad back then. I could see that he bought my mother a vacuum. I can only imagine that what would happen today if you bought a woman a vacuum. I'm going to go back now. There's information here on this website that I sent to the programmer to make sure he put on the website. I think it's necessary to put this video in somewhere. And these pictures are a little bit mixed up. This is a picture on Rosemont Avenue. I was, I think, 28 here. My dad and my mom. My dad, my mom, and Aginini, my dad's sister. My dad, my mom, and my mom's sister from New York. She was a head designer working for Givenchy. I met Mr. Givenchy a few times when I was younger. I worked in his studio. I photographed models for him a couple of times. I was able to get that gig because my aunt got it for me. This is a grandmother I never met. And here's my mother, and that's her sister from New York in the early days. Another picture of my mom. I don't know if it shows a date down there or not. I have to zoom into that and check it out later.